Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Charlie. Sorry I've been away for so long, but I had a little bit of a laryngitis I was battling for a few weeks. My voice is finally back, so I wanted to wait a couple extra weeks before I started doing a video again, just in case it came back, but I'm good now. My voice is back, thank God, and this video is about cruising out of South Florida. Now, a lot of people, if you're veteran cruiser like me, you've been on these cruises that I have, know that there are two ports in South Florida. Port Everglades, which is in Fort Lauderdale, and Port of Miami, which is obviously in Miami, downtown Miami. What I would like to talk about in this video is the differences between Port Everglades and Miami, and why I feel Miami is the better option. So here we go. First thing, like I say, I want to talk about Miami versus Port Everglades. Now, the Port of Miami is in downtown Miami, and it is very easy to get to from anywhere you stay in Miami. South Beach, downtown Miami, Key Biscayne, Brickell. You are no more than 20 minutes away in anywhere in the Miami area from the Port of Miami, so it's very easy to get to. Very easy to get to and very convenient as well. You're no more, like I said, 20 minutes away from it. Port Everglades is advertised in Fort Lauderdale, and yes, it is in Fort Lauderdale, but it's much closer to the Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood border than it actually is in Fort Lauderdale. It's literally at the Fort Lauderdale airport. It's across from the airport. If you're sitting in Terminal 1 or 2 of the Fort Lauderdale airport, you can literally see the cruise ships in port. I have seen them myself. The cruise port, Port Everglades, is on the other side of the airport. It's on the other side of the runway, on the other side of the fence, on the other side of the street. You can literally look out the window and see the cruise port. So you're actually at the very end of Fort Lauderdale, in Dania Beach, Hollywood. You're right there. You're not in the main part of Fort Lauderdale, like Hotel Row, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale Beach. That's a good 25 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes, depending on traffic, staying there than you are from the cruise port. So if you stay in one of those places, you have to rent a car. I stayed there once. My friend stayed there with a friend. We stayed on Hotel Row. We took the share shuttle ride from the hotel airport to the hotel. That was about 40 minutes, and then the next day we took the cab, which was about $40, so it was 20 per person. It was about a half an hour drive from our hotel to the cruise port, and that was just, I didn't realize how much of an inconvenience that would be. And if you want to stay on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, how far you really are from the cruise port. So that's something you have to consider. You pretty much have to rent a car if you want to stay by the beach or in Lauderdale by the sea, or you got to stay in one of the airport hotels, which there's really not that much to do. So if there's anything you need to buy that you forgot to bring with you for your cruise, or you just you want to be able to go out for dinner, you want to do this, you want to do that, you got to keep in mind you're closer to the airport and the airport hotel, so there's not that much around to do there. Like I said, you're in the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood border and pretty much in Dania Beach, so that's something you really need to consider. So that's why I feel Miami is the better option out of the two ports. Now, traveling, the next thing I want to talk about is traveling into Miami, okay? If you live on the East Coast of the United States of America, especially in the Northeast, say from Boston all the way down to Washington, D.C., flying into Miami is one of the easiest things in the world. You have three options. You can fly into you can fly into West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, or Miami International Airport, and you have many options with that. You can rent a car from Fort Lauderdale, the share shuttle ride from Fort Lauderdale Airport. I've done that. It's about $25, $26 per person all down to South Beach, so that it's really not that expensive. If you have a family or you're going with a group of your friends, then you want to consider renting a car then, because if you go like 3-4 people, you rent a car for like $60. There's 4 of you, that's $15 per person, and you can come and go as you please, so that's another option you want to consider. Another thing that hasn't started yet, but it's going to start soon, sometime within the next year, is the Tri-Rail hookup to downtown Miami. Now, anyone who's taken the Tri-Rail before in South Florida knows it goes down to the Miami International Airport, or you can connect at the Tri-Rail Metro Rail transfer stop. If you stopped at the Miami airport like I have many times, you either know your options to get to South Beach are the bus, the express, which isn't so bad. I've done that a few times. It's actually pretty cheap, and it takes you, you're at your hotel in South Beach from the time you live in about 25-30 minutes, depending how many stops you make along the way. And also a cab, which you're in your hotel checking in within 20 minutes, but it's $30 a pop for one of those cabs. So unless you have someone to go with where you're splitting the cab, you're better off taking the bus. If you're on a budget. The next thing, it was supposed to start by now. It's obviously been delayed. It's going to be delayed, I believe, until the end of this year or the beginning of next year, is the Florida Bright Line, which is the intercity rail, which goes from West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale right into downtown Miami Government Center. It's going to be the same station, the Miami Central Station, as the Florida Tri-Rail, the Tri-Rail station. It's going to be in the same station. So it's basically, you can either take the train on the Tri-Rail, depending where you are, right into downtown Miami, or if you're in West Palm Beach or Fort Lauderdale, you want to pay a little bit more money and just be in downtown Miami in an hour, you'll have the Florida Bright Line. In about 2-3 years, the Bright Line is going to be hooked up into the second phase. The first phase is West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and it's going to be connected from West Palm Beach all the way up to Orlando. So that's something you might want to consider as well. If the cheapest airfare is into Orlando, you can consider taking the train from Orlando into Miami. You'll be there in about 2.5-3 hours at the most, which is not terrible. And actually, that might be the best option for you if you want to spend a few extra days in Orlando, go to Universal, go to Disney World, go to SeaWorld, spend a couple of days there, and then take the train right down to Miami for your cruise, something I'm probably going to do. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is staying in Miami. Just to give you a heads up, Miami is not for everyone. It is for me. It's a very lively and late night city. I've been in South Beach many times. I go about twice a year. People don't start sitting down for dinner there about anywhere between 8 and 11 p.m. So that's something you have to consider. It's a late night city. There's a lot of action going on. If you're more of a low-key person, you might want to consider staying in downtown Miami or outside the city or in a place like Brickell. Definitely you don't want to stay in South Beach, maybe other parts of Miami Beach, but definitely not South Beach if you're not into the late night thing. Now, there are several places, like I said before, to stay in Miami if you're cruising on the Port of Miami. First is downtown Miami, which I've done a few times. It's very nice. It's very close to the cruise port. It's 5 minutes away. I've literally done this before, jumped in a cab from my hotel in downtown Miami, and I was checking out my cruise ship 10 minutes later. It's very close. It's 5 minutes away. Like I said, 5-minute taxi right away from the Port of Miami. You can take the Metro Rail if you fly into Miami International Airport there, or you fly into Fort Lauderdale. You take the Tri-Rail down to the Miami Metro Rail, Tri-Rail transfer station. You can get on the Tri-Rail, take it right down into Government Center, and then just hop on the Metro Mover. Or just take the Metro Rail straight from Miami International Airport to Government Center and hop on the Metro Mover to Bayfront Park. It's right there. It is so easy, and the Metro Mover is actually free. It's free of charge. So if you don't have a lot of bags, you have one bag and a carry-on, it's something you definitely want to consider because it saves a lot of money, and it's actually, at times with traffic in Miami, can be faster. Downtown Miami, like I said, it's a lot going on down there. You have Bayside, which is an outside mall. They have shopping, food, and it's literally right at the American Airlines Arena where the Miami Heat play. If there's a concert, if there's a WWE event, if there's an MMA event, it's right there. And also, like I said, the Metro Mover is right there. You can take the Metro Mover to Brickell. You can take it to other parts of Miami. So it is a very good location, and you don't need to rent a car, and there, like I said, a lot to do there. You have shops, you have mom and pop places. There's a Citibank right there, which for me, who's a Citibank customer, took me forever to find a Citibank in Miami. So to know if I'm staying in downtown Miami that the Citibank is right there makes everything a whole lot easier. The other place where I usually spend most of the time in Miami is where I spend most, should I say stay most of the time, is in Miami Beach and South Beach. Now, like getting from Miami International Airport to South Beach, like I said, it's very easy. You can either take a cab, or if you're on a budget and you're not time constricted, there it's called the Miami MIA Airport Flyer Bus, the Miami International Airport Flyer Bus. It's once you leave the airport, it's an express bus right into Miami Beach. You don't make a single stop from the airport until you get into Miami Beach. Now, once you get to Miami Beach, it does make that's the main route. You do make a lot of stops. So if you're staying in South Beach, it's going to take you about 10 minutes worth of stops until you get into South Beach, but it's worth it. It's cheap. They have luggage racks, so you don't have to worry about your bags being by your feet. You just put, if you have a duffel bag most of the time, like I do, you just stick it above your head on the luggage rack. You sit back, you relax, and you're in Miami Beach in 20 minutes. The bus runs about every half an hour. So if you miss one bus, yeah, you're going to wait a little bit. And if you don't have any patience, you can take a cab. But like I said, they run every half an hour, and if you get the bus, then you'll be in Miami Beach in 20 minutes, and South Beach in 30 minutes, depending how many stops you make along the way. Um, there are many hotel options in Miami Beach. You have in South Beach, you have the beachfront hotels on Collins Avenue. I've stayed at a couple of them. They all have the majority of them, I won't say all of them, but the majority of them do have swimming pools, and they right there on the beach. You just walk out of your hotel room past the pool, and you're on the beach. They all have beach access. It's a beautiful beach. If you have the chance, I suggest at least one staying in a hotel on Collins. Another the other place I usually stay most of the time is on Ocean Drive, which all the hotels are across the street from the beach. You have the hotels here, the street here, and then right on the other side of the beach you have the park, and then you just walk right onto the beach. It's beautiful. Just to let you know, if you do walk on the beach, at times the sand can be a little hot, so you might want to consider flip-flops if you're going to go walking on the beach, or you're going to just lay on the beach. Just to let you know, the sand can get a little hot, so just don't. I didn't want you to get surprised by that. If you do decide to stay in South Beach, the beach does get hot, and it may hurt your feet, so make sure you have flip-flops with you. Now, all the hotels in Miami Beach, for the most part, I mean, you do have your Hilton, you do have your Courtyard by Marriott, you do have a Marriott, you have a couple of big chain hotels, but not too many. Most of them are boutique hotels. They all have outside bistros for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Every hotel I say that has their own mini restaurant. Most restaurants have pretty good menus. You just walk all along up and down Ocean Drive. Every hotel has a restaurant. They all have good menus. They have happy hour. It's basically you'll have no trouble finding something to eat or drink in South Beach. It's very easy on Ocean Drive. Only question is what mood you're in for what type of food you want. You want a burger and fries? They have it. You want something more like a steak, fish, chicken, Italian, whatever you feel your mood is, they have. So you might just keep going up and down the street. They have the restaurants are indoors and outdoors. You have your option. If you choose to be indoors, just tell them you choose to be indoors. They have no problem giving you an indoor table. If you prefer to be outside like I do, especially when the weather is nice, it's warm, they'll get you a seat outside. All the restaurant staff is very friendly, but they are very, very busy, so don't expect to be taken care of right away. I've had times where I've waited 10 minutes just to order, and then another 20 minutes just to get the check, because like I said, they're very busy, so you have to have a little bit of patience there. But it's well worth it. Go during certain times of the night. They have dinner specials. They have food specials, so keep that in mind. Because South Beach will, sadly, I've been a victim of this, where you do go over your budget every now and then, because South Beach is very expensive. And I mean, all of Miami is very expensive. It's like here in New York, but South Beach just seems to be more expensive for someone who goes twice a year like I do. I always seem to surprise myself when I say, how do I forget it's expensive down here? I come down here twice a year, but it always gets me. So always make sure you have a little extra cash on you, South Beach, because you are going to need everything's a little bit more expensive than you're used to. Now, like I said, every single hotel from 5 to 7 p.m. has happy hour. usually 2-for-1 drinks. You can go to any of those hotels, or you can go to any of the bars or clubs along Ocean Drive. You have that Clevelander, you have Mango's Tropical Cafe, you have Wet Willie's, you have a Fat Tuesdays. Those are the main places. But if you just want go someplace local, like one of the hotel bars, they all have happy hour, 2-for-1 drinks from 5 to 7 p.m. Like I said, people do not sit down for dinner in South Beach till like at least 8 o'clock. That's why happy hour goes so late. It's a late night city, so you have to be prepared for that. So you get out of your hotel at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you're still in the middle of happy hour, so take advantage of it. Take advantage of the 2-for-1 drinks. It's not like you go to certain places where the drinks are watered down, or they put a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No, they're actual real drinks, and you do get what you pay for it. You get very good 2-for-1 drinks. You get very good drink quality. Another thing I want to talk about is the clubs and discos in South Beach. The Clevelander is my favorite. It's outdoors. If it's a nice night like 60, 70, 75, 80 degrees, it's a perfect place to go. It's outdoors. They have a DJ. The drinks there are a little bit expensive. Like I said, at South Beach, you're going to pay for more for money for drinks down there than you will other places. But it's a great atmosphere. Mango Tropicals Cafe, you definitely want to check out. Wet Willie's you can go to. It's not so much of a club. It's more of a bar, a theme bar. And same with Fat Tuesdays. And then on around Washington, Lincoln, Collins, you have the other clubs around South Beach, but some of the best ones are on Ocean Drive because they're outdoors, they're open. Some of them are open air, and it's just a very good experience. So that's what I wanted to say about South Beach, that the clubs and discos are something you definitely want to try. There's plenty to do in South Beach. I've been to South Beach many times where I've spent a few days, like long weekends, 3, 4, a whole week there, a night. You can't get bored there. If you get bored in South Beach, then you are definitely some type of personality who has to be busy all the time, because South Beach, it's very hard to get bored in. So what I wanted to say was, in conclusions, that Miami is the better option. There are more options. I'm going to stay in Miami. And if you got to stay in Fort Lauderdale, like I said, rent a car. Just rent a car. It will make everything so much easier. So I hope you liked my video, and hopefully with my next video, I'll be back much sooner than in between the last two videos. Hope you enjoyed, and see you soon. Bye.